Coming up on AgweekTV, the U.S. and China avert a trade war. Farmers are facing planting delays here in South Dakota. The story coming up. And after defeat in the House, what is the next step for the Farm Bill? Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The U.S.-China trade war is on hold. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says the two countries have agreed to end tariffs on each other's goods while a new trade agreement is worked out. Chinese officials indicated they would put a freeze on new tariffs, but have not announced if they'll rescind those already in effect. In early April, China imposed a 25% tariff on 128 products, including pork, and announced proposed 25% tariffs on another $16.4 billion of ag goods, including soybeans. The U.S. exported $14 billion of soybeans to China last year, and even though the tariff wasn't implemented, it led to a sharp decline in soybean sales to China. So this is good news for the industry.
Of course, we're waiting for confirmation that actual things will happen, but if the tariffs are removed or at least not talked about anymore, then maybe relations can at least get back to normal.
Mnuchin says the U.S. expects to see an increase of 35% to 40% in ag exports to China this year alone, plus a doubling of energy exports over the next several years. The U.S. is sending a team led by Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross to China next week to work out the details and a timetable. The other headline this week is tied to the Farm Bill. The House will revote on H.R. 2 on June 22nd after a rare failed vote last week. Spencer Chase reports from Washington.
With the House voting down the Farm Bill, attention now turns to what comes next. The House Agriculture Committee's bill was expected to see a tight vote long before going to the floor after House Democrats signaled opposition to the bill's nutrition provisions.
This is a misguided process that's going on here. I've told the chairman that. I think it's a mistake. It's not going to be successful, but he's the chairman. He's doing what he's doing, and that's where we're at.
After the vote, House Speaker Paul Ryan moved to reconsider that vote as he struggled to reach consensus within his party.
Obviously, last Friday was regretful. Obviously, we did not want to see members take down the Farm Bill.
Now, the House has until June 22nd to vote on the Farm Bill. Democrats are unlikely to move from their positions opposing the strengthened work requirements in the bill, which frustrates House Ag Committee Chair Mike Conaway.
It looks to me from West Texans like they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. You can't brag on work, you can't brag on the dignity and the impact it has, the positive impact it has, and then turn around and say, yeah, but I don't like what Conaway's doing, and not tell me specifically what you don't like about what we're doing.
The Senate is also working on a bill of its own. Reporting in Washington, I'm Spencer Chase.
The House will vote on an immigration bill prior to the Farm Bill with the hope of swaying some votes for H.R. 2. NDSU's cattle are getting some of their feed from an unusual source, Drecker Brewery in downtown Fargo. Drecker donates its spent brewer's grain to the Animal Science Program. Rose Dunn explains how the arrangement benefits both the brewery and NDSU.
Doesn't look like beer, does it?
Drecker Brewing opened in downtown Fargo in October of 2014. They brew every day.
The grain's going to go through the mill, up the auger, drop down. At the same time, we got hot water coming in.
And they go through a lot of grain.
7 different types of grain in this one.
600 to 900 pounds a day.
All the liquid was pulled out of the mash tun and is now into the boil kettle, and we are boiling.
But then it becomes a waste product.
And at that point, we're done with the grain. And so now the grain to us is essentially garbage. We don't really have a use for it, but it's still a very viable resource.
The spent brewer's grain can be used for compost or fertilizer, but it's also a nutritious animal feed high in protein and fiber. That's what they use it for at NDSU.
Anything we can do to lower our costs and make a cheaper ration is certainly going to be beneficial.
NDSU dairy research specialist Todd Molden was caught off guard when Drecker first offered them the spent grain.
I didn't know a whole lot about brewer's grains. We had never fed it, did my research on it, and obviously saw right away that was going to be a good benefit for us.
NDSU mixes it with a variety of things, including corn silage and haylage and several mineral mixes.
It's a win-win for both of us. They'd probably have to haul to the landfill or something like that. It's going to be an expense to them, and obviously it's great for us because we're getting free feed.
Somebody always asks, "The cows get drunk then? Is that what's happening?"
Of course, the answer is no. There's no alcohol in it.
This would basically taste like soggy cereal. A combination of barley, wheat, and depending on the recipe, there might be some oats in there.
But the cows do seem to like it.
Everybody's happy.
In Fargo, this is Rose Dunn for Ag Week.
NDSU also gets spent grains from Proof Distillery and Prairie Brothers Brewing. Planting is catching up, except in the northwestern Corn Belt. Plus, as trade tensions ease with China, we'll talk about market implications next on AgweekTV.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
I'm 120, 130, 130, 55, once around the block, 212 miles right here, now having times up. So
if you're thinking about selling a piece of land, or you're looking to sell some farm equipment, or if you're thinking about a retirement or involved in an estate, give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way. We think it's a good way. That's how we approach it. If any of those are in your plans, give us a call or go to steffesgroup.com. Learn all about us. Hope to hear from you.
Crop progress is back in line with the 5-year averages, despite some delays in the northwestern Corn Belt. U.S. corn planting shot up to 81% last week, with emergence at 50%. Most of the region has caught up. However, Minnesota is still behind, as well as South Dakota, but farmers there planted a whopping 45% of the crop in a week. U.S. soybean planting progress continued ahead of normal by 12%, and that trend follows in Nebraska and Iowa, with the rest of the region slightly behind. Spring wheat planting is wrapping up at 79%, and all 3 states have caught up to 5-year averages. And winter wheat conditions were unchanged nationally, but South Dakota shot up 11%, and Nebraska dropped 2%. Joining us this week with market analysis, Dwayne Bussey with Bolt Marketing. Of course, the headline, Dwayne, this week has been all about China and this trade deal that we're working out with them. We do know at least the tariffs have been suspended intermediately, and we don't know what the future holds, but this is going to kind of be a headline story for a while here till we get everything worked out, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, and I think you said the key word there, a headline story. You know, big headline this last weekend that they're backing off. Good negotiations, we're not going to do the tariffs. That's great, but no facts so far. Just a headline. You know, there are some rumors out there about how much more soybeans or ag products they'll buy from us, but it's really just rumors. You know, I hate to say it, but when it really comes down to it at the end, China will buy where the beans are the most cheapest. Their crushing plants will. They still have to be economical. So if they're cheaper in South America, they'll still buy from South America.
And they have been buying from Brazil. Obviously, we know there's this shift over for them to buy this time of year anyways, but it looks like maybe some of those sales will stay there, won't they?
Oh, I think so. And they're so hungry for soybeans. They'll keep buying from Brazil, no doubt. Now, there are some rumors that they're going to pick up some buying from us now, too. And I'm sure we'll see that here this week and the coming weeks forward as more of a good faith, good Samaritan type buy thing. But no, they're still going to buy the cheapest beans from Brazil down there.
The other thing that we have kind of noticed in the grain markets is that the funds seem very hungry to buy commodities.
Absolutely. You know, last year I kind of say that the funds just were absent in our markets, especially the managed funds. Well, they're back this year and back with a vengeance, I think, which means more volatility and higher upside potential, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't market your grain, though.
And the funds are already long in a lot of the grain complex, but they do have room to go longer here, especially in the corn market, don't they?
Especially the corn market. You know, I think in the corn market they're like 180, 190,000 contracts long, but the record long is like 420. Right. So if we get a weather scare, this hot forecast continues to go, or we get a dry forecast in Illinois, you better believe that could go up there to those record levels and make new records.
All right, so let's talk about that, because the next 90 days we're going to be watching weather, especially this first 30 days here, and it's going to make it pretty volatile, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think every Sunday night and Monday, expect it up 4 to down 4 to 5 cents in corn every night based on just weather alone, nothing about demand, nothing about China. So weather's going to be key moving forward.
And the first conditions rating actually comes out this next Tuesday, right?
It does. Comes out on Tuesday. You know, corn, the way it's popping up in Illinois and Iowa, I'm looking for the crop conditions to be 70 plus, which is higher on the higher end of what the trade guess would be. I think the record is like 76% for this week, so we'll see. And I'm talking the good to excellent category there.
So with all the volatility that we're likely to see in the markets, what is the best marketing strategy here for producers to protect themselves so they don't get chopped up into pieces?
Yeah, well, I think honestly the best strategy is to have a marketing game plan and to stick with it. I mean, we did adjust ours a little bit more bullish corn this year. Once we learned the planning intentions. And that's fine, you can adjust them. But once you hit their targets, like for example, my farm hit a sales target of 425 this week. I said I'd sell some corn there. I need to make that sale and stick to it, even though I am friendly in the short term.
Yeah, it's hard to be disciplined, but we're at prices in corn we haven't been in for like 3 years, right?
That's exactly right. I made the sale and went, well, why not make it? It's the best corn we've sold in 3 years. And, you know, as long as we can get some rains and get some yield, it'll be very profitable.
And let's close out here with the cattle market. Certainly that one has been volatile as well. Disconnect between cash and futures. But do you think that market is bottoming?
I think we already made the bottom. I really do. I think the June contract will go higher into expiration and August will follow suit. I think the wall of cattle is already here and packers are making good money. And if they're making money, they're going to kill as many cattle as they can.
We are getting into a little bit slower demand time period though. So can we move through that wall of cattle fast or not?
I wouldn't say fast, but I think we'll move through it fairly quick. I don't think it's going to be a major problem. They killed a huge amount of cattle last week, and I think they'll continue to do that. Maybe cutouts come off a little bit, but not much.
Thanks, Dwayne, for joining us. Dwayne Bussey with Bolt Marketing, and for an extended conversation between Dwayne and I about marketing, you can go to our online product at agweek.com. Coming up, what is the outlook for land and machinery values this year? And later, a natural resources competition shapes careers.
Intelligent farming means more crop from every acre. That starts with smart machines and precision application. Introducing the new Rogator C-Series from Challenger, featuring a newer, smarter, more precise way to apply fertilizers and nutrients, more accurately and more efficiently than ever before, resulting in less overlap and less crop damage, all to make you more productive and more profitable. To find out more, contact Butler Machinery today.
Micro Essentials is a premium phosphate product. It's a dry granular product. The main difference with a Micro Essentials type product is you have a homogeneous granule for the nitrogen, the sulfur, the phosphorus, and in this case, the zinc is all in one granule. If you ever have a desire or a need to learn more about what does sulfur do within a soybean plant, what does the potassium do for the corn crop, we have microessentials.com. We also have a great resource, cropnutrition.com.
Total Ag Industries is the leader in total control. The future of ceramic nozzle technology is here today with the Total Ag Air Induction Turbo Nozzle, the only ceramic triple spray nozzle on the market. Works with all sprayers for better weed control and wheel tracks. Are you ready for a longer lasting sprayer nozzle? Call 701-636-4524 for 10% off your first order or go to totalag.com to learn more.
Get your row crops off to the right start with an early riser Case IH planter from Titan Machinery. Case IH early riser planters feature high-tech yet rugged planter row units that quickly adapt to the toughest seeding conditions, while leaving an optimal seed bed to promote early, uniform plant emergence. Only Case IH early riser planters are designed to leave a flat-bottom seed furrow, ensuring consistent seed depth and even emergence. Contact your local Titan Machinery location today for more information on the next generation of planting technology from Case IH.
There are countless examples of folks who have left the farm for the business world, only to come back. Matt Nelson is one of those people. Nelson spent 16 years as a pilot before returning in 2012 to farm with his dad near his hometown of Lakota, North Dakota. He also started his own business, Redline Agri-Services. Nelson says he enjoys trying new innovations on the farm to improve efficiency.
For instance, our air drill this year, we're doing a lot of one pass seeding. So we're putting on anhydrous, we're putting on dry fertilizer, and we're putting on seed. All three of those things are controlled variable rate, section control, and there's a lot of learning to do for the operator.
Jonathan Knudsen has more on Nelson's journey back to the farm in the next Ag Week magazine, and we'll be following Matt through this crop season. While farmers in most of the Corn Belt have caught up to normal on planting, one exception is South Dakota. And for farmers there, it's been a frustrating spring. Goodwin, South Dakota farmer Todd Hanton says the cold, wet spring has made for a challenging planting season.
We didn't get in until almost the 5th of May, which is a lot of times my end date, and we've been just a field or two every day at the best.
He says the planting delays and poor field conditions will lower yield potential in his corn and maybe even his soybeans.
So it's a little discouraging that you don't have that hopeful for a perfect and really big crop.
In the southeast, rains have been persistent, and Doug Hansen says planting pace is the slowest in recent memory.
We should be winding down right now, but we're not even half planted.
And with water still standing in many fields, he may have to take prevent plant on some acres.
We're going to have a real mess on our hands, even worse than what we got right now, if it doesn't kind of turn around the next 10 days. There'll be a lot of prevent plant then.
He also expects corn yields to be down about 25%, but is not quite so pessimistic on soybeans. So will the soggy pattern continue? John has the outlook now.
This weather has been mostly warmer than average over the Great Plains and specifically the Northern Plains for the last couple of weeks or so. But in the last few days, you've obviously noticed it has also turned quite distinctly more humid. And that has an impact in the way that weather systems, even weak ones, can interact with the atmosphere to generate rainfall. Let's take a look at what the jet streams and the temperature patterns are doing this week, and it will largely remain fairly warm. Occasional intrusions of hot, and by hot I'm talking 90s to 100s. It's not going to be 100 degrees in Nebraska, but 90s this week at times. A lot of this orange is going to be at times 80s to around 90-ish or so. So there is plenty of warm weather around. It's really the southern states, though, where that hot weather is going to be concentrated. And it's still fairly cool. Some seriously cool intrusions will be coming out of Canada from time to time, and it might briefly dip down into the northern plains by the end of this week, but I expect that will be very temporary. Just a cold front that's likely to set off a round of showers and thunderstorms. The warm weather, though, will likely be back in the second week of this forecast. We're now talking about full June. So that's interesting that we're going to keep things fairly warm, it looks like, for a while. Stormy weather across the northern plains this weekend moves quickly out of the area this upcoming week. A plume of tropical moisture, possibly a tropical storm affecting the southeastern states. That will produce potentially torrential rainfall. Overall, the weather will be warm, which means areas that miss out on some of the storms are going to be wanting for moisture. But there is potential for some juicy rains out of some of these weather systems. So it's kind of the case of the haves and the have-nots, which is really fairly typical of midsummer weather. So we're looking at warmer than average weather continuing, and the rain coming from thunderstorms makes it inconsistent.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
Get ready for the biological revolution. Enhanced by Ag Concepts is a scientifically designed foliar fertilizer formulated to quickly deliver essential nutrients to your crops for the greatest possible yields.
I had a hail incident and I only had maybe beans that were 4 inches tall. I put some Enhance out. That seemed to really bring my beans back. Got 40 bushel beans compared to a zero. That's the best dollar ever spent.
Join the biological revolution with Enhanced by Ag Concepts. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
Ag Week is excited to bring you the Ag Week app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your Ag Week news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Ag Week with you wherever you are. Download the Ag Week app today. Welcome back. Joining us is Max Steffes with the Steffes Group to give us an update on the land market and talk about where we're at right now in terms of the health status.
Yeah, things are going good right now. Honestly, the last 8 months we've sold about 15,000 acres and about $70 million worth of farm real estate. And I got good news, folks. The sky is not falling. The market is intact as far as the farm real estate is concerned. So things are going good. Things are looking up.
All right. So where are we headed?
I think things will remain stable as we come into fall. But we look for those three indicators that we look at to see what's going to happen here in the future.
And let's talk about those because commodity prices are always really important to that equation, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about how much income you can get off of that acre, and commodity prices obviously are a big part of that equation. So the three factors that we look at are commodity prices, the production actually in that local neighborhood does affect the land values, and also third would be interest rates. That's another big thing that we've been watching coming through and through this fall and summer.
What are you seeing in terms of availability of land? Because we know we're kind of in this transitionary period now where we're getting the next generation into farming.
Land is always such a scarce asset, and when we get involved with these sellers, the majority of the time, these are generational farms. And farm real estate just doesn't trade hands. And when there's a quarter section that comes up for sale across the road, that definitely goes into the equation. A lot of times, these producers and these investors are only going to get that one shot in 50 or even 100 years.
Everybody wants to know about land values, but they also want to know about equipment values and how are those doing right now, especially used equipment, since we see maybe a little tendency to move away from new equipment right now.
On the equipment side, things have been going really well as well. We've just completed our spring round of auctions, and we operated in 6 or 7 states. And equipment values on the used has really hung in there, and things are looking up there, particularly on the affordable pieces. We talk about affordable pieces, maybe under 100,000. Those low-houred older machines, those have really been gold lately. Those have been selling well.
And Max, if folks want to get more information about past auctions or land values or anything that we've talked about today, where's the best place to get that?
You know, Michelle, if you just go to steffisgroup.com, we got a great resource there with archived auctions. All the sales results are there. So I would suggest that you go to steffisgroup.com.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Max Steffis with the Steffis Group. Still ahead on AgweekTV, a worldwide competition involving natural resources and conservation inspires regional youth.
Advanced biofuel for America's diesel engines is clean burning and made from renewable sources like soybean oil. Biodiesel fuel works in any diesel engine, reducing emissions, helping us breathe cleaner air. Biodiesel adds value to North Dakota soybeans, creating jobs, improving the environment, increasing our energy independence. Biodiesel, it starts with soybeans, it's fueling America.
Big Boy Toys.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Agweek is excited to bring you the Agweek app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your Agweek news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Agweek with you wherever you are. Download the Agweek app today.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Teenagers from across North Dakota competed in the annual North Dakota Envirothon. Jenny Schlecht has more about how this competition is shaping the lives and career paths for those involved.
Students from around the world compete in the Envirothon, a natural resources education competition. North Dakota students competed in their state Envirothon in Crystal Springs, North Dakota. State Coordinator Dane Bicey says the problem-solving competition gets students into the field to experience real-world science.
Teams consist of 5 students, and they compete in different topics of natural resources, whether it's soils, aquatics, prairie forestry, wildlife, and also a current issue.
The contest has shaped the career path of many natural resource professionals, including Jordan Larson.
Envirothons is just another way to open up the science world, because we think a lot about science as, chemistry based or physics based, and I think Envirothon really shows how encompassing science can be.
I've learned a lot of soil conservation and all around conservation of all of the resources in North Dakota.
I'm Jenny Schlecht reporting for Agweek.
A team from Bismarck was the overall winner for this second year. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the Agweek app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you next week.